sure she does.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She'll find out, but like, I didn't want to know. I was
Jacob,
wrong.
can I have a Shadow Mastiff?
What is that?
They're really cool.
Have you not? Wait, do you not?
I've only read so many things that
Shadow Mastiff. Can I have a puppy so it won't be like actually useful? I just want one because it's cool looking. That's usually how I work with my animals.
What's the challenge rating on that thing?
Huh?
It's a challenge rating 2 for the adult thing, but
Shadow Masters are...
I just want a really cute like animal of some sort. I don't care if it's
what
useful
kind of
or
creature
not.
was this?
I mean, Shadow Masters are basically just used as, like, hi, I'm an evil wizard and I need a guard dog outside my tower. So,
Yes,
it has some shadow powers and stuff.
but I'm just thinking.
It's usually how I am with anything. Give me a monster manual. It's like, can I have this in a baby version as a pet?
Based on where you're currently at, it's possible to find one.
Oh, hell yeah.
However,
Yeah,
you might have something, and you'd have to find it.
Dude, red caps. I fucking hate red caps, man.
But they're adorable.
So this is coming from the character that fucking made a dragon server for a little while.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He was cool.
And then you remember what happened to him.
Oh,
You remember what happened to him?
yeah.
Got my character sheet back. Jacob, are you still need it?
I was
Hey, they actually have orcs in here.
Yeah. That's the book where you get the... It's the book where they actually added species where you could legit play them. I went Goliath, so...
You're Goliath?
Yeah, I'm a Goliath.
He is now officially the tallest one in the group.
Holy shit, you're so short.
Yep.
Everybody
I was already
else is...
like a good foot below everyone. I'm a tiefling, and everyone else is like at least part orc, full orc, half orc.
Half elf.
Now you're a fucking Goliath, so I'm just gonna look up to everyone.
Also, whenever I was making this character, I actually didn't know that in 5th edition you can only have 3 cantrips plus 1 for my elf heritage.
Carry me on
You
your
couldn't make it
shoulder.
no?
But I've had a bunch.
Be my man. So,
I'm just going to cross out the
Yeah,
ones I have.
we have a
Those
tail
are
there,
from what
so,
we
I
got.
mean,
Yeah, you get more, yeah, but
what's wrong?
for right now you can only have
Oh.
3, and then I have plus 1
I
because
thought you found something in the book you
the elf heritage.
No, I'm
really
just
fun.
learning a little
I didn't
bit.
realize.
Gotta get some airflow to the area.
Okay, great.
You need to get you 2 fans and just
Yeah, now I just have Booming Blade, Green Flame Blade, Lightning Lure, and Prestidigitation.
Somebody needs to do a fastball special with me. Fastball
He wants
special?
to be Wolverine and he wants somebody else to be Colossus.
Oh,
Or he
yeah.
jumps up into his hands and you chuck him.
I didn't understand the reference until you said Wolverine. I was like, oh, I know.
How tall is your character again?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
How tall is your character again?
She was like 2 inches taller than you or something.
Yeah, I think I was 6'8".
Yeah, alright, that sounds familiar. How tall are you? Like 7'11"?
I'm like 8 foot. So,
And did you take max stats at first level?
yes.
Alright.
Dude, check out the fucking
The
tusks
cleric
on this
spell,
guy.
they use wisdom for their spells,
Yeah,
right?
Jesus. Poke out 9.
Who got
Oh,
that?
Out and out.
That would put your spell DC as a 12 as well.
Yeah, that's what the full orcs are.
Unless
Like, the only version where they didn't straight up have tusks was like 3.5. Like, all the other ones, they were
if I need anything else, I'll just ask.
warthogs, basically. So.
Alright, so before we jump straight back into where we were, I wanted to go ahead and go over everyone's background a bit. So I added an NPC or an item to help better flow as to why you started on your quest towards the tower, and some of them will be plot related at some point. So we'll just start with left going clockwise with Skull.
I didn't ask for this.
Alright, so you said you were raised by orcs. You were born orc, raised by orcs, part of a mighty warring clan. You pillaged and savaged the lands. However, you never truly felt like you belonged, and partly because of your unnatural beauty. This led to emotional issues and insecurities, which led to you becoming silent and eventually leaving the clan for a life of solitude. On your journeys, which led you far and wide, and you found yourself eventually traveling through a marshland. This is a vast land that's stuck between a dying forest and an expansive swamp. Finding food in these parts is scarce but possible.
I was going to bring all my books, and then I realized good reason for me.
But you were able to scrape by.
All I needed.
You found this area to be quiet yet deadly in a way of a reflection of
Yeah.
yourself. And during your time in these marshes, you felt you could eventually be yourself. It wasn't until one day when you came upon an old crone with green skin and long silvery hair. She was carrying a basket, and upon seeing you, she ended up dropping her basket and uttering the word filth as she was commenting on your appearance. That's when she took up a ball of mud from the ground below and threw it at you and said, much better. And using magic to lift her basket back into her hands, which I know draws your attention, this eventually led to you two getting to know each other, even though you are one of few words. She offered you knowledge in how to survive in these lands, as well as early practices in the magic that she knew. And in return, you assisted her by gathering various things throughout the swamp, the marshlands. Swamps are nearby, but this also led to you getting certain swamp and forest-related creatures for your teeth collection, which we can go into later. Which will include crocodiles, which is the whole reason I wanted to put you in the swamp, because I thought crocodiles are cool.
True.
The last day you were with her, she was screaming there, throwing a fit. Her recent bird came back as they were sending a message, and she started cursing the name Bashir. I often say this. Cursing the name Bashir, some wizard that you've heard her mention, and at this she points to you and declares, "Skull, if I've had it with that wizard, I need you to go talk to him personally. He's ignoring my letters." Upon which during this she's writing a note, and then she ends up folding it and putting sealing wax. Make sure that he alone sees it. Then she goes over to a desk, pulls out a talisman, a bronze talisman with a rat's head in the center, and hands it to you. Present this to him, and he will know it's from me. And if you can muster up the courage, shout a few curse words at him for his ignorance.
Oh, she seems lovely.
And that's what led you on your travels to go find the wizard. It took you several months before finally coming upon the outpost run by tieflings. Going next to Fenris. Fenris, you said you were born in a distant land, spent most of your time traveling, and along the way you were trained by your father in the art of archery. Speaking of which, did you ever get the chance to pick out your favorite enemy, favorite environments?
I got these as a gift.
It could help in the future.
Favorite environment is going to be the woods.
After the hyena encounter? I choose beast. Why do you choose beast? Because one tried to rip my throat out.
I mean, it would make sense if I lived in the woods. So, yeah, we'll just say that. I did fine last time. I'm alive.
Also, I wanted to point out, I didn't know if you knew this, but part of your heritage, your infernal legacy, is you have the cantrip Thaumaturgy or something?
Yeah, Thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy. It has several minor effects, including making sounds and whatnot, but if you want to look over that, it could help you at some point. But back to why you were on the way here. Eventually, your father became ill, and on his deathbed, he handed you a diary and said you need to keep this safe. Keep it out of eyesight, to just protect it with your life. And eventually, your father did pass within the coming days, and you were left with this diary, and upon flipping through it, it was written in a language you do not understand. By the way, what languages do you understand? So I can make sure I didn't accidentally put it in when you did.
Common, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Okay, yeah, it's not on that list. But, so you were traveling alone for a while, and one day when just flipping through the diary on the front page, suddenly, said one of yours was Infernal, because you're tiefling.
Yes.
In the Infernal language, on the front page, it suddenly said, "Help me find Bashir." This is the first time the diary has ever displayed a language that you can understand, and you know that was never there before. So, not knowing what's going on, you did eventually decide to seek out Bashir to learn the mysteries of this diary. Also, as a side thing, your father at some point gave you a rabbit's foot. He said it was a very lucky trinket of his, and he wanted you to have it.
Nice. Has it worked so far?
Thanks,
Dad. Thanks, Dad.
So yeah, go ahead and make sure you guys have those items written down. On to Adam, whose name is Mundi. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. I couldn't think of it. I was trying to real quick. It's like I'm going to have an ultra complicated name, and I was like,
now, go ahead and present your backstory, and then I will throw in the extra.
Come from an interspecies wandering tribe and stuff that operates under a matriarchy. At a certain point in time, any of the people of the tribe who reach a certain age are told to go out into the world and basically record and keep track of any new developments that are happening to eventually bring the information back to the tribe. So that way we're able to at least know what's going on, but still stay semi-isolated from everybody else because we don't like people.
Everybody in the group.
Nobody likes
So did you listen to the podcast, or did you already have that?
No, I only heard like 5 minutes of your most recent one. I was like, man, what is this? So you just put, oh wow, he was fat getting these ones out. Here we go. And then I was like, well, I'm going to take a nap. And then I didn't finish the rest. So,
Anything else we need to know about your backstory?
No.
So the night before you took off on your most recent quest to explore the world, one of your tribal elders, one who has been gifted with divination capabilities, screamed out in pain. This is the loudest scream you've ever heard. It's woken up the whole tribe. And you've never heard anything like this. At the time, I told you not to worry, just focus on your mission. And by the next dawn, the leader of your tribe came up to you. Came up to you before you headed out. He's carrying this small sack, and he said, "Take this with you. There's been some urgent news, and if you happen to find your way heading towards the town of Ayapo, if you could stop by this wizard, Bashir, and present him with this, he'll know what to do with it. Other than that, just don't let this be out in the open. Just keep it in the bag."
Okay. What was the town's name you said?
Ayapo.
How do you spell that?
That is Ayapo. And he said, you'll know when you get to the town, it's got a very distinguishable tree. So, and then you had at any point did you choose to look in this bag on your journey so far?
You said it was from the
Your
matriarch or the...
It was from your tribe. The leader handed it to you just before you headed out, informing you it was best to keep it hidden, and to deliver it to
No, I don't look at it and stuff.
Alright, then we will not describe the item at this time. And so, so far it's all taken you like several months to get to the outpost. We'll get to your part of that in a second. We're going to kind of brush over so you can catch up to the group.
Or you can take your time. I'll take a nap.
Retoris. Open up. You said you didn't remember your childhood, that you were raised in a small village. At some point it was attacked and you were separated from your parents, upon which you wandered to a nearby town and was chased off because you looked like a monster, upon which you fled to the sewers. During this time in your sewers, you met an elven man, a hermit by the name of Sune. Seeing you as a child in need of help, he offered to raise you until you were able to care for yourself. Yes, Jill?
Sune.
Shit. Something about that name that's bad?
Oh, I know what.
Well,
Someone we went back. About it.
It's an inside joke,
apparently.
I'll explain it later.
During this time, he taught you how to fight using the skills with a blade, like the which you had never before seen, and this skill eventually led you down the path of the blades. Because because when I looked it up, I noticed apparently Blade Singer is an elven thing. It's most commonly, so I drew a mentor of that race for you, even though you are half elf. On the last day you saw him, and before the two of you went your separate ways, he gave you an unusual item. He pulled out this crystal knob from the door, and when you look through this crystal knob, you can see a symbol of an open book with the word Bashir displayed in the center. Upon handing you this knob, he spoke thus: "If you ever find yourself in the need of help, I would suggest you seek out an old friend of mine. His name is Bashir, and he is a powerful wizard that lives near the town of Idaho. Give him this knob, and he'll know your connection to me." After that, the two of you went your separate ways, and you went on to life in the gladiatorial arena as the masked fighter, made a name for yourself as a local hero, and eventually joined Town Guard for a short time before that fateful day, which led you to flee the city presumably on the run, where you headed back down into the sewers to collect your thoughts. And upon which you once again found yourself holding this doorknob, which was at the bottom of your bag, and you decided perhaps now was the time to pay the wizard a visit. And that's the tale so far. So to catch us up on where we... Are you okay?
I'm still going over the Sune thing.
I can change the name if that helps.
He literally legally changed his name, so his name, first to last, would say Kitsune.
That's stupid.
Right?
Well, you can
don't even know who that person
blame
is.
Xanthar's got everything.
Well,
He
he
randomized
listens to
the elven
this.
name.
There's probably only one of those in the world. If he listens to this, he'll know.
Good.
So, with the story so far, the three of you, being Skull, Retors, and Fenris, found yourself coming to an outpost in a relatively short time from each other. Shenanigans were had, and you eventually set out together. You fought some local wildlife, but one morning...
I fought some local wildlife.
One morning...
I killed 3 rabbits in one shot.
That's true. I'll give you that.
That is wild.
I thought it was only 2 rabbits.
It was 3.
Why do I only have 2 rabbit skulls? Oh no, I do have 3 bunny skulls. Never mind.
On the morning of your third day... on the night of your third day, second day or whatever, you felt a cold breeze coming in, and there were signs that suggested a fog was rolling in. And as it were the next morning, you woke up to a deep fog, and you started traveling down the path. Time seemed to have been going on for hours. You couldn't tell time of day as there was no shift in lighting. It was all gray and cloudy. And eventually you found yourself upon a tower, a 3-story high tower. You decided to investigate, had some unfortunate run-ins with the locals, and managed to barely escape with your lives.
And half a door.
And half a door.
And
so it's a win.
You took a long rest afterwards, and that is where we...
Adam, you don't understand what this door is made out of.
You'll know as soon as you catch it. But after taking your long rest, you had a discussion you started discussing what would happen next. And for the first time since you started traveling, Skull uttered his first words to the group, "Get it yourself." And now we'll jump to Mundine. You had been traveling for months, and you eventually crossed this outpost. Whether you choose to stop or not, it's basically general goods. If there was anything you needed to buy or forgot to buy, that's all this place mostly serves as.
I'd only stop if you're saying that from the time I left my tribe until now I've had to use any of my rations that I
You've come to like several towns along the way. It's just since the last time you were at, it's been a good 5 days travels to this outpost. Really, you're good on rations.
That is pointless for me to stop. I don't have money anyways. So,
But just to give you an idea of one of the characters that reside here, I have to roll a random event to see if you see them. Yeah. That's what I get for making her a wild child.
Oh no.
A small, deep violet-skinned tiefling girl. As you know, tieflings have a tail, and her horns protrude from the forehead, wrap around the head, and
I hate
whatever.
forehead tieflings.
Fine, whatever. She ends up jumping from the second story. You can see the wind kind of like uplift, giving her a softer landing so she doesn't hurt herself, and she's screaming out about how she's the mighty wind sorceress who defeated this orc. And that is just something you see as you were walking past the outpost. Now, as you would know, living in this world for a while, there was this great age of peace, and during this time, the peace in which suddenly there were tons of monsters all around the world, and they just suddenly disappeared one day, leading to this era of peace. But during that time, the number of magically gifted people being naturally born gifted into magic rapidly declined. So you see this display of this little girl clearly doing some sort of magic to soften her fall as she's jumping around the place.
And then she's a badass, and I need to avoid her even more. So,
well, as you heard her say, she's the mighty wind sorceress who defeated an orc, whatever that means.
So she has clout behind her words then, too. I'm even more afraid. I don't know her.
You're afraid of a little tiefling girl wanting to be an 8-foot monstrosity?
Oh, don't matter.
Yeah, how tall are you?
8 foot.
Put your foot above the horse, okay. But yeah, you continue traveling down the path.
Goblins are significantly smaller than me, and they can eventually take down a Goliath or something like that. No problem.
Get the cowardly Goliath. It's going to be great.
I didn't say I was cowardly, but she clearly didn't smack on the ground or anything. She kind of...
I'm trying to think of a line that the cowardly lion says, but I can't think of anything.
And over the next few days, the only interesting sight you saw was this giant four-legged creature. It's kind of got a hard shell-like back, and not really like a turtle shell or anything. It's just and a long tail with an ichthyosaur. I'm having a hard time describing it. You see two of these things off in the distance as you're walking along the path.
Two?
Yeah, there was two of them there. And it's an unusual sight, and
I
you
remember
never...
those.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realized what you were talking about.
Yeah. Although you guys only saw the one.
Yeah.
But eventually on the night of your third day's travel alone, since you passed this outpost, you feel the cold air, and you have this feeling that there will be a fog in the morning, and upon waking up on your third day, there most certainly is a deep fog in the air. And what do you do?
Don't rush him, God.
I'm finally taking notes, and now you're speaking too fast for me to keep up.
So,
he's a big man. He takes big thoughts.
it took me 14 years to finally start taking notes.
yes, but you were...
I missed half of what I'm supposed to write down.
That's why you listen to the recording, so you don't miss that.
I don't got time for that.
Quick
Or the patience.
What is there anything you need a refresher on?
It's the... Wait, what? In the story? No. I kept up that I was just making a novel.
Right.
So
you woke up on the third day. There's a deep mist. It's gray outside. You can't tell the time of day, and the fog is very thick.
It's 81 degrees outside.
perfect weather for fog. Is it there's a chill, there's fog. Exactly how far can I see within the fog?
Not
or is
very
it
far.
like
You could probably at best muster 60 feet, but the draw distance pretty cut off there.
alright,
Unless you also have dark vision like everyone else.
I don't.
Yay! Someone's blind.
Gotta upgrade that GPU. Increase check raw distance.
I can be out in the cold, no problem. That's about all I got in that. So the okay, if I can't see, I'm gonna have to pack up. Within my field of vision, is there any sort of landmark or anything that I can really use to kind of get?
You knew you were traveling through the grassland, so you can still see the high grass along the side of the path, but really the path is the only thing you can see at the moment.
I'll just have to pack up and slowly kind of go down the path then and stuff. going too fast and stuff might open me up or make me.
Alright, go ahead and make a perception check as you continue on your day.
He's playing it far more cautious than the rest of us did.
It's been a long time since I actually got to play. I would like to have my character live for a little while.
You're a Goliath.
You just gotta get to us.
How much health do you have?
Huh?
How much health do you have?
It's got more than you.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he has more than all of us.
No, he doesn't.
No,
Really?
11.
Am I rocking the most health?
11.
Oh yeah. Hell
You don't have
yeah.
3 more hit points than me. I'm a wizard.
You're beefier than Wizard.
We do.
You have at least 2 more hit points than a Wizard.
You said perception?
Yes.
19.
Okay. Yeah, off in the distance you see the shadow figure walking along the path. They're heading in the same direction as you, walking at a normal pace, but there's obviously someone ahead of you.
They're walking the same direction as me, or they're walking
going down the
towards
path
me?
the same way, just...
You have longer striding steps than
Oh,
you do. Or anybody, whoever you're following. I don't know. I'm hugging a door.
But yet I'll still only be able to move about as far as you guys can anyways.
And... Oh, you only have 30 movement?
Yeah, their base movement's just 30, so...
Well,
it's not like I'm a legit giant who...
Now I got a quick question. Does your character fall in the large category? Or is it
Yeah,
still
I'm
medium?
large category, but because one of my racial traits I basically can use in terms of carrying capacity or weapons, I can use anything that's a size category higher than what I can normally use.
Well, you were seeing this figure ahead of you for a while, but they are eventually fading into the mist because they're moving faster than you, and eventually they'll go out of sight if you just stay at your normal pace.
Yeah, I have no real reason to try and catch up to them, especially because I can't see what they are or what they're doing and stuff. It would be more of a hindrance to try and get involved with somebody I don't know, especially in a situation like this. So I'll just continue at a normal pace at this point.
Several hours have passed at this point. You're still walking through the day. It sort of just drags on. There's still no distinguishing time or location. You're still walking along the path. It's been hours. And you just, nothing in sight. But go ahead and make another perception check as you are coming upon a new scene.
10.
Yeah, it take you don't see it at first, but eventually you're coming upon this massive figure sitting in the middle of the road. You can't really define what's going on, but
Just
there is
sitting.
something ahead of you. And unlike before, these things are not in motion. They're just sort of sitting in like a campfire situation, but they're on the ground, communicating with each other.
In the middle of the road.
There also seems to be this large thing in between them. Some sort of large flat object.
In between. No. It's grasped tightly.
Okay, one of them is actually holding this thing.
Hell yeah.
So
How many can I distinct, just from a cursory glance?
it's a little hard, but you gather there's probably 3, and then there's this large thing sticking up from one of them.
Hell yeah.
And as you begin to move closer, you notice the fog starts to wrap around this nearby building, and you can start to see the cobblestone structure of a tower nearby, and you are now approaching this group of outcasts. And I would like you all to describe your character as you are now seeing a Goliath walk down the road towards you.
Describe our characters, you said?
Yeah, describe to each other, because you guys see him, and he's starting to see you.
Well, sitting down, it's not apparent, but I'm 6'6". I have a somewhat of a thin build, but a little more muscular than you expect of a elf, because that's what I look like of an outward appearance. My body's covered in full hand wrappings, full-length leggings, and cloth mask. Wielding a long sword, I think.
So your armor is more along the
It's a
leather.
padded armor.
Okay,
Yeah.
padded.
And yeah, you said you're covered in clothing, so you can't see the face.
Yep. You can see my eyes in the gray.
You guys are gray?
Yep.
Okay.
I am a teal tiefling. I am wearing leather armor and I have a bow strapped to my back. That's pretty much it.
You're not gonna tell him about your cool horns?
My horns look like Loki's helmet, but I include them in my height. I say that I'm 5'8", but they're like a foot above me, so I actually stand at about 4'8".
Well,
I'm almost short for...
Why would you not? Stuff they're part of you.
Yeah, it's me.
You got shorter.
Hence why I was messaging him. This beautiful boy, he is very clearly supposed to be an orc, though he has some strange fairer features. In the way of color, you can't really tell. He's mostly covered in mud and his hair is dirty. You can't really tell what's going on there. But he's a very fair-looking orc. He has a white longsword on his back.
White longsword?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in a scabbard, or the actual sword is white?
It's white.
Thank you for actually adding stuff, because I was just gonna had a description for him. How you started out. I took that right down.
A beautiful boy.
The picture. Jill's character. So.
A beautiful boy.
And Monday, you describe yourself to the rest of the party.
I'm tall.
That's all you get.
I'm a tall figure who I clearly am wearing my armor on the outside. I'm not trying to wear any sort of cloth or anything over it. It's scale mail. I have bear hide draped over one of my shoulders, and I'm bald with tribal painting over my right eye. Beyond that, I have my holy symbol strapped to my side, but it looks beaten to hell, like I'm not taking care of it or anything to any real amount. I messed up my back. Now here, take a look at it.
Now, Monday, as you're approaching this group, you are now getting a better look at the tower, and you notice that the door is ripped in two, as half of it's missing, and you notice that the thing that the orc is holding is the other half of this door.
Cradling. He is cradling that door.
So you all now notice each other. The three of you were having your discussion about what to do next. What do you all do?
Wait, did he describe him to us?
You just did.
Oh.
Did you miss all
I
of
think
that?
I did. I'm sorry.
He's a bigger boy than you.
Oh, okay. I'm just too focused on the door. I'll just
He's
leave
a
it
big
at that.
bold boy.
It's important to you. We all have to have important things.
It's my door now.
You don't even know me yet, so why would you care?
Well, my back was to you. I'm going to leave that excuse.
So we noticed this giant
you all
coming
see
towards
this figure
us.
coming down the path towards you. He sees that one of you is holding a seemingly wooden door for some reason, as it is still mostly covered in the paint. Because last time you did your check to figure out what was up with this door, you rubbed your hand across it. There's now a black handprint, and that gave you a clue as to what you were dealing with.
Oh my god, it's the Dark Brotherhood. Video stricken down because I referenced something in that's my goal, to get all of your videos stricken down.
So you see each other. How do you proceed? How do you react? Someone coming down the road.
This is a nice door.
I'm gonna grab my bow because I have no idea who this giant coming down the road is, and I'm concerned.
I'll stand, but I'll just put a hand on my sword for now.
Like you
Do you clearly
unslung your bow? Or?
Yes,
You
okay.
clearly
Like
see
my
one
bow
person-
is in my hand. Like I haven't knocked an arrow or anything,
Well,
but I'm
still,
like,
it's, if you're actually visibly getting ready instead of just in case, I'll put my hands up then.
okay. I lower it to my side.
My hands, the situation's defused. So.
Like I'm not one to start conflict. I'll finish it, but I'm not gonna start it.
Are you reenacting what's going on in their skull?
Oh.
This is the
Yes, I don't say
auditory
step out of the
medium.
shadows.
I look around in confusion for a second before I step to the right, not really understanding if I'm in shadows or not.
Isn't he kind of obscured from where he is?
I mean, the mist is thick. You can't like fully see all the details, but you know he's standing there. You would need to move
I forgot
closer.
that it hasn't changed at night. I thought we were at night.
You can't
Still
really
gray.
tell what time of day it is.
Yeah.
It's just all gray all the time.
Oh, great. All the time.
Just like I like it.
Because it was because you took your rest. That's how you confirmed that the time of day is distinguishable.
Alright. How far away is,
He's about 60 feet away from you at the moment.
oh man, that's still a ways away.
I mean, your bow's got good accuracy.
Yeah, it
so-
does, but I mean, like,
What are you trying to do, Jake?
I'm just letting him
Your
know.
bow's got pretty good
He's
accuracy.
fostering some hostilities between our
I
characters.
know I purposely go after your characters 9 times out of 10, but still, I mean, come on.
I'm just
This is
gonna
all
yell
that
out.
passive aggressive. Just
I'm
built
gonna yell out and be like, "Who are you?"
I'll be quiet for a second before.
So we have another new character.
My name's Mundi.
Moody.
What are you doing here?
Clear cable.
I was just walking. I mean, I wasn't going anywhere in particular yet.
That's fair. We're on the road.
Oh, yeah, checkmate.
Do you say
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Some weird shit's been happening. It's fine.
It's cool.
I'll just put my bow up for now. Like, just put it back on my back.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hang my head a little sheepishly. I've made a fool of myself.
Well, you're not very good with social interaction.
Really not.
Okay.
Nobody is.
No one is.
All right,
we
here we
all
go.
played recluses.
We did.
and make going to town fun.
Feel square.
I don't like people so.
This is our lone wolf pack.
I think I called you guys the Outcasts.
I figured that's what the name
Suddenly
came
the video makes sense to me, but I didn't watch it. So
Alright, so I'm just gonna... Do we still have, like, a fire going?
Yeah, so
Alright, I'm gonna, like, go kind of sit back by the fire, but sit to where I can, like, still watch him come down the road.
can I approach?
Yeah.
You almost shot me at one point, so I mean I don't
I mean, to be
want
fair,
to charge on in there.
to be fair, he didn't have an arrow notch.
I can't see that well. I
That-
just saw him
that's
get
true.
out his bow. So
We've had some spooky stuff going on. I got a little scared. I'm sorry. I put my bow away. Like, you're fine. You can pass. We're not gonna attack you.
thank you.
Speaker thing out, just plug it in and slide it back.
I walk slower now, but kind of more just
It isn't like
keeping that one specifically in my eyesight.
Yeah,
The rest weren't near as mean to me
Yeah.
as that one was, but
You look like the devil, therefore you can't be trusted.
the last one I saw had magical powers. I have to be wary of this kind. So,
It's got a point.
behind it.
You have magical powers.
but see, why would I be wary of myself? I know me.
Do you though?
No, I'm not that smart.
I guess I'll wait till our tourist gets back. Unless there's some character interactions you want to have.
So now that he's not here to defend himself, I rush his
Low
character.
door, light on. Little red light on.
Well, despite him not being here, I'll have to give him bonuses
I'm not
for
actually going to
his
rush
previous
his
time in the
character.
gladiatory.
That's fine. I'll shoot him with magic powers then, because I got magic. I'm not actually going to. Not that mean yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know you guys.
Fair. I don't know me either.
Yeah, so get to know each other.
I did have one question about your backstory deal.
Yeah.
So,
It's open for suggestions and changes.
well, no, like, because we already established the dwarf, slight dwarf history with mine.
Right. That could have been an event before you went off on your own.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I have.
Scrap all of
I was going to say, this happened at some point. I don't know when you want it to happen, but it happened.
You could have very easily had just pillaged a dwarven town and and picked up on the crack.
That's
Sure,
that
sure.
isn't how I was going to leave it, but okay.
Well, how were you not happen? It's your backstory.
Let me keep you
do
grapes.
what you want.
I mean, we don't have to have an answer right now, but if you want to build upon it later. Alright, Ratoris, the Goliath and your and Fenris had this little
I don't know if you noticed, but I rolled a
confrontation. Things seemed to resolve. Note happened. They both Fenris lowered his bow and the Goliath lowered his arm, and he stuck.
I saw that. I was here for that, rather.
Well, nothing's happened really. So
Okay.
Yeah, he's still approaching, but like slowly and cautiously, and we're keeping eyes on each other.
yeah, it's up to your characters on what's going on now.
Of my character?
I mean, all of us, but we were waiting for you.
Yeah, I just put it in there and pull it off. It's taking a while.
You guys need to have a character building moment to decide what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna wait for the giant to get closer. I'm not just gonna keep yelling at him. That seems kind of weird.
Well, you're pretty small. You might have to keep yelling at me for me to hear you.
That's true.
So-
I'm really surprised you could hear me way up there, fucking 60 feet away.
It doesn't take him long to walk up to the camp.
I mean, 12 seconds.
You're a big guy.
You're right, that's a long time.
They're going to be for you.
So,
These are so little.
What is this? Or ice cream?
I
Yes.
get kicked out of here so fast. Well, Fenris suddenly died.
Hey Fenris, remember those hyenas? They come back in larger numbers, and you're by yourself for some reason.
For whatever
How does that
reason, Skull just goes into a barbarian rage and crushes your skull. What happened? Weird.
happen? Well, he got spooked.
Spooked me.
Yeah, how are you reacting to this large being walking to us? Or have you even noticed that much?
Got a
that
door.
door's pretty important. So,
Alright.
so, hello.
Hi. Sorry about drawing my bow on you. Just got a little spooked. On it.
I suppose that's all right.
I mean, I feel bad about it.
Yeah, no. Here's the way you can pay me back. Pay me back.
Are you actually saying that?
Give me something. Yeah.
Okay, I just we noted that your character was
Jesus.
No, I like just randomly getting things and messing around with them and seeing how long it
Alright.
takes me to break it.
What's your line?
Fenris, how do you
Chaotic neutral.
He's asking for something?
I dig around in my pack and I grab one of the damaged hyena skins that we have. The one that I just chopped him in the head. I grab that one and I hold it out to you. Offer you a hyena skin.
I
Like, is
take
this-
it. All is forgiven.
Alright, cool. Nailed it.
What brings you out this way, stranger?
The path.
I mean, are you going somewhere for a particular reason or you just wandering?
Well, according to some important people back where I'm from, I'm supposed to go and meet up with this here Bashir? Is it Bashir?
Yes, Bashir.
Bashir.
Bushy.
Bushy gear.
It seems we all have a common goal.
I guess that's what the kids are calling
Well,
it.
3 of us
since you
anyway.
can't
I'm not
speak.
sure about that.
With the tribe too?
I haven't been with my tribe in probably I'd say probably about 15 winters.
Seems like this wizard's a pretty popular guy, though.
Oh, I was just like, I'm not a wizard.
No, not you, Bashir.
You're going to meet him too?
All of us apparently are, for some reason or another. Never really talked about it.
Even the quiet one?
I said, we're both going there, and we're not sure about her.
You haven't seen
Yeah,
anything.
he's
Not to me.
He's just been
Oh,
kind
not
of
me.
tagging along.
I showed him a little bit of magical flair, and he has been insisting on following me ever since.
Came in pretty handy in the tower.
So you enslaved to that one.
No. Following us of his own free will. I tried offering him a lean-to, and he proceeded to jump in the mud and sleep there.
Yeah. He is pretty good at knocking down doors, though.
It's an
So
important
at
skill,
the
so-
word of knocking down doors, I quickly look at you and shove my door away.
I'm not taking your door. It's fine. You can have that. I don't want it. It brings back bad memories.